The heaviest rains of the season have struck Italy with devastating force, unleashing a nationwide emergency. The Lombardy region has been one of the hardest hit, with dozens of cities and hundreds of towns submerged underwater. Residents and local reports agree that this is among the most destructive floods recorded in recent years, with material damage still being assessed. The storm also battered Polesine and the province of Padua, where streets, homes, and highways have been completely flooded. In Badia Polesine, currents swept away vehicles and submerged main avenues, images that quickly went viral on social media and were broadcast by local outlets such as Tornado in Italia.
Qui siamo all'Elba, a Portoferraio, con l'acqua letteralmente.
The situation in the south has been no less critical. Naples has been severely affected by Tuesday's downpours. Major arteries blocked, cars underwater, and mobility practically paralyzed in large urban areas. Residents describe scenes of chaos as they rush to secure belongings and find safe routes. One of the hardest hit areas is the volcanic island of Ischia in the Bay of Naples, where massive flooding swept through streets and ground floor homes, leaving entire neighborhoods isolated. The sight of cars carried away by sudden torrents and families trapped in their houses reflects the scale of the emergency. In the city of Meta, in northern Italy, the situation has become catastrophic, according to the mayor. Torrential rains inundated homes, paralyzed public transport, and caused serious damage to infrastructure. A similar situation unfolded in towns north of Milan, where the Seveso River overflowed after more than 80 millimeters of rain fell in just a few hours.
Qui siamo all'Elba, a Portoferraio, con l'acqua letteralmente.
In Paderno Dugnano and Seveso, entire neighborhoods were submerged, forcing school evacuations and the closure of bridges and roads. Saturated ground has displaced dozens of families and left entire districts cut off. Meanwhile, the Lambro River reached critical levels in Milan. In areas such as Via Vittorini, mobile barriers were installed, but they were quickly overwhelmed. City access tunnels were blocked, and public transport suffered partial paralysis. The economic consequences have been immediate. In tourist areas such as BB1 and Legnano, hotels, restaurants, and shops were flooded. The large BB1 campsite, which hosted more than 2,300 tourists, had to be evacuated after being completely submerged. In other areas such as Brinza and Meta, the overflowing Taro River cut off main roads and caused service outages. Entire communities were left without power or communication, forcing emergency deployment to assist those affected. Towns like Baggio, Sissano, and Madno also reported severe flooding, with shops shuttered and streets impassable.
Via Sanguineti, questa è la situazione.
In the Savona region, the Bormida River overflowed in Piancrixia, sweeping through streets and garages. In Carcare, underpasses filled with water within minutes, forcing drivers to abandon their vehicles. The railway network in Liguria collapsed. Sections between Finale Ligure and Pietra Ligure were flooded, suspending services and leaving passengers stranded for hours. The emergency even reached critical facilities. In Cairo Montanat, the local hospital suffered flooding in sensitive areas, forcing medical teams and patients to be moved to safer sections. In the province of Como, The Via Torno road was blocked by a landslide that struck a vehicle, requiring immediate intervention with heavy machinery. In rural communities, water dragged mud, debris, and garbage, contaminating drinking water sources and raising the risk of disease. Single-story homes have been the most vulnerable, with families trying to salvage what little remained of their households. In Milan, neighborhoods such as Liguria were submerged and metro stations remained out of service for hours. In Savona and Como, rural roads and highways were covered with mud and fallen trees, making travel impossible in several sections. Meteorologists explain that the phenomenon originated in the Adriatic Sea and quickly moved inland. In just 3 hours, rainfall matched the equivalent of several normal days. In addition, rising sea levels along the coast hindered natural drainage, prolonging flooding in cities and towns. The city of Meta, still reeling from the emergency, faces a bleak outlook. Local merchants have reported millions in losses, with warehouses and businesses completely flooded. Many claim that the rains destroyed entire inventories, while basic services such as drinking water and electricity have not yet been restored in certain sectors.
Qui siamo all'Elba, a Portoferraio, con l'acqua letteralmente.
In the metropolitan area of Milan, affected neighborhoods remain with streets blocked by debris and mud. Residents report that the water has swept away parked cars, dragging them into main intersections, creating an additional hazard for those attempting to move around. Public transport services are still operating at half capacity, which complicates the daily commutes of thousands of people. The Liguria region remains under close watch, especially in mountainous areas where the rains have weakened the soil, increasing the risk of new landslides. In small towns near Genoa, local brigades patrol the roads constantly to assess cracks and collapses, trying to prevent further tragedies should the rains persist.
Qui siamo all'Elba, a Portoferraio,